Hello and welcome to this video for the More Center Online, where I will show you how to arm crochet. So I have this yarn here, a thick fluffy yarn as you can see, but because I'm using my wrist and not actual crochet, I'm picking 5 strands so that it's a little thicker. For the first loop, you take the rope, you place it down, and then you fold it like that. Now, holding down on the place where you folded it, you pass your wrist through the loop, and then you grab the rest and you just pull through like this. Now you can pull a little, tighten it, and now you have the first knot. Loop it around your wrist, and then you can tighten it a little bit so that it's about 2 fingers from your wrist. Now, for the first loop, it's very easy. You grab, and then you just pull the loop over, and now you have your first loop. Loop the second one around your wrist, and then do the same thing again. So you grab onto the rope, and then you flip it. And we will continue like that for the rest of the line. So what I'm doing right now is just keep on grabbing, passing through, putting on my wrist, and then moving on to the next one. Grab, pass, wrist. Once you've done enough loops to reach the width that you want, you can stop. Now you have the final line of loops here. On one side you have little bumps, but if you flip it over, you have loops, as you can see here. You want to keep the loops on top because it's through those that we're going to proceed. Now, once you've done enough loops to reach the width that you want, in this case I have 8 loops, you can proceed on to the next line. For that, you're going to need to pick not the first loop, not the one closest to your wrist, but the second one. So you pick the second loop, and then you pick the part of the loop that is towards the back. You pull your wrist through, and then you're going to proceed like you did for the other ones. So you have 2 on your wrist, you grab, and then you pull only the first one through. You now have 2 again. Put them together on your wrist, and then once again you're going to grab onto the rope, which just passed through the loop. So you grab it, and then you pass both of the loops currently on your wrist through. And then you pass the new loop on your wrist. You are now done with the first part of your second line. So you passed it through the loop in the back. You're going to do the same thing with the next loop over. So you grab the back part of the loop, slip it over your wrist. You grab onto it, you flip, and then you pass the new loop on your wrist so that you're back to 2. And then once again, grab onto it, flip, flip, and then add it to your wrist. You are now done with the second part. So you're going to keep doing that for the whole line. So you pass your wrist, you grab onto it, you flip, grab again, flip twice. You just keep on doing that for the whole line until you reach the last loop of the line. Now, the last loop might be a little harder to get and might be a little tighter. If that happens, don't fight with it. Instead of passing your whole wrist through it, you can pass just fingers. So, just your fingers, grab onto the rope and pass it through. And now you can proceed as normal, passing it onto your wrist, grabbing, and flipping again. You are now done with your second line. So it gives you your last loop, which you can keep on your wrist if you want to keep it from escaping. So you have a nice first line. What you want to do now is flip it around so that your wrist is again on the same side of the line as you were on the last line. Now, before you do exactly what we did, you need to do a free loop. So you just grab onto the rope and flip it through, so you have an additional loop. Now, you start doing exactly the same thing again. You do not take the first loop, you take the second one, find the back part, pass it through your wrist, grab onto the rope, and then go again like we just saw. So you pass your wrist, grab onto the rope, flip one, grab onto the rope, flip twice, and you go like that all the way to the end, to your desired length. So as you can see here, I've done a fair bit of it. For the last line, you keep on doing exactly the same thing. So you crochet it exactly the same way as you did the last ones. But when you reach the last loop, that's where things changed a little bit. So you have your last loop here, and then you have your leftover yarn. In a final project, you can cut that yarn, leaving about 2 hands long of yarn at the end. In this case, because I'll probably tweak it again, I'm keeping all the leftover yarns instead of cutting it. What you want to do is pass all your leftover yarn through the last loop. That way you're almost already done. Now you just need to do a regular knot. Tighten it a little bit, and then you pass it through again and pull, so that you have your final knot and it keeps everything nice and tidy. For the finishing touch, you need to hide the tail in your project, so both the starting one and the ending one. So with the starting one here, what I'm doing is just picking out loops, passing the rope through it, and then picking out another loop and passing the rope again. Now you just want to keep doing that again and again until the end of the rope is completely hidden. That will keep it nice, tidy, and also keep it from unraveling. So now you're done and you have your final product. In my case, it is a very thick and fluffy beginning of a scarf. If it's a little crooked, it's fine, you can just pull on it, make it the width that you want. If you want a shorter project, you can just make fewer starting loop, so that it will be shorter, but also much longer because you have more yarn. And there you have it, the final project, in this case, a very thick and fluffy scarf.